Wow. All right. No. Fuck it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Yeah.
You know what it is? The Lost and Talks podcast, the most lit podcast here in Scarborough.
Yeah.
Specifically well, we can't even tell you the location. I'm snapping stuff. We're in Scarborough, though. So, yeah, let's get to some introductions quick. We have a guest today. We have lots to talk about. We told you guys we'd have a guest. So, yeah, we're going to start on this end first, and then we'll work our way around to our lovely guest.
Hey.
Cool. My name's Ian, and part of Lost Nostalgia, and, of course, part of this podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, still working on this.
Yeah. My name is Kevin Ramroop. I go by the name of Kevin A. and 750 Ram. And the Passive video just came out.
Hey,
And,
passive video.
Yeah. And Tropic just came out. And R&B 2 just came out. And that's what I do.
Yeah, yo. Bear Things out. Yeah. I'm Jamal, 750 Black God. Call me whatever. Hit me up on the socials. You already know what it is. Rapper, director, photographer, whatever, editor, creative, boss, Lord.
Hey.
I'm snapping. Next.
I'm Tamer, Scarborough born. Scarborough generally, you already know.
Hey.
Rise representative. People call me Tamerical, T Fresh, T Money. You already know what it is. Tay. Rapper, singer, songwriter. Dancer when I need to be. Hey, man. Yeah, man, just flexer.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, sick, yo. So, I don't know how I'm getting into stuff right now, just because it's just like, I just feel weird. Like,
Just trying to jump in.
I'm trying to, do we hop to the shits? Do we get right to the shits? Do we?
Just hop right into our topic.
Let's hop right into the topics. All right, let's get to the main one that we wanted to discuss today.
Okay, going deep in.
We might as well just get to it. We wanted just to talk about the art community here in Toronto, even Scarborough, if anything. And we were talking a bit about it last week, and we were seeing some of the positives, some of the negatives. We felt like, here in Toronto, we're pretty blessed with grants and stuff like that. And on the other hand, we feel like as well the community isn't always fully supporting the community as well. We can get more in depth, but we just want to hear some of your thoughts, even just on what you think of the scene here in Toronto, or again, if you want to talk about Scarborough specifically.
Whichever. I guess the experience I've had with Scarborough over the past, 2019 now, so at least the past 7 years, since 2012, since Rise started, to be honest, just having the opportunity to, see things flourish from. When we used to throw little events over at Scarborough Town Center and just watch how, that just kind of pulled in tons of different artists from all over the city to just kind of build up in this hub over at Scarborough Town, a place that so many of us kind of call our home, know? And then seeing that go from there to the Tropicana building, from the Tropicana building over to the Burroughs Hall now, and how that's just kind of been a pretty steady spot for people to just come through and bust their talent. People come from Brampton, people come from the East, people come from the West. Some people come from North. You got Richmond Hillmans pulling up, to Rise on a Monday. Yeah. So I can say I feel like I've started to see that teamwork start to take place, where you're even seeing collaborations between some artists where it's just you guys might not have known each other if it wasn't for Rise. You know what I mean?
What is Rise?
Rise.
So no
worries, man. Rise is pretty much like a spoken word open mic stage that's kind of open every single Monday over at Burroughs Hall Library. Put on, hosted by the OG Randella J. Yeah, man. It's just a place where you can come together and just flex the art and it's a platform. It's a platform for us to come to it.
Networking and kind of creatives coming together.
Absolutely.
What's do you have a role in Rise? Or
I used to.
You've just kind of been okay.
Yeah. I used to back in the early days. I made the logo. I was really kind of in the shits with it. Yeah. Kind of taking a step back just so I can work on my own stuff, because sometimes when you just get so lost in the sauce and one particular thing, it can just be it can be tough to take yourself out of that and go do your own thing. So, luckily they're very understanding of stuff like that, and they just allow man to say, yo, go hold down your business, go do what you got to do, and you know, whenever you're ready to come through and, you know, touch stage, and we're here for you. So yeah, it's always blessed to have a resource like that, you know, like I was growing up, didn't really have resources like that.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
I did, like, I only went to Rise for the first time like a month ago or whatever to recruit for the library program, and it made me so proud that like a program like that is one of the early representations of what Scarborough can do to build an artistic community, because it's been around so long before we even knew what, you know, so many of us, I think, are born out of that generation where from 2012 onwards, we're just starting our musical path, you know, and to see something like that is sort of like the base of the foundation, the heart of where things can go from Scarborough, because it's basically, you go there and you can get a glimpse, like, and some days you can get a huge glimpse. Huge, like, bare people come out sometimes. But at any given week, because when we went, it was kind of a slow night, but like anytime you'll find how positive communities can come together. For real. Having Scarborough be the base of that is just like, it made me, I'm like, wow, like, I'm so happy that this type of energy is actually manifesting itself in a place, about it. You know?
Yeah. I will say that Rise is one of those things that I've always kind of just known about.
Exactly.
And it's one of those ones where I will say that's one of those settings or areas, or I can't even come up with the word at the moment.
Yeah.
Basically, it's one of those spots where people are really there just showing out. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you can meet whoever there. Because I've seen like a couple guys that even I've been just like creeping on Instagram, just trying to look for like clients
for real
and whatnot. And I'm taking in, they're performing at Rise. I'm like, say where they're coming over here.
It's
from like the West.
It's like this neutral zone, you know. It's like this. Everyone puts their egos away, and it's like this
100%.
It's like this meeting place where artists can actually gather, and they're not trying to worry about clout, and they're not trying to worry about what this person's doing, what person. You go there, and it's like, I'm trying to share my thing, and I'm trying to learn about more people too.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's why you come through. You just show love, man. You know what I mean? Like, as you said, like, put the egos aside. That Rises was never the place for that. And I feel like if that is something that you bring, everybody picks up on that vibe, and you could just tell like things are just off now. And it's just like, I don't know if you want to come back next week with that energy, because if you do, you're probably not gonna get a solid reception. So you might want to just kind of fix up and then, you know, come back. But
do you feel like there's a spot like Rise elsewhere in the city? Have you seen anything like that elsewhere outside of Scarborough or in any other areas, West End, downtown?
As far as like the fact that Rise was able to do it like and lock in on every Monday, I think that was kind of revolutionary. Just, wow, we're trying to find a way to just create a platform and have people out here practicing all the time. Like, I thought that was pretty fresh. I know there's other, I guess, groups. I remember there was a group, Spoken Herd. I think they've kind of tightened up. I think they're just called The Herd now. R.I.P. to my brethren Jordan. He was founder of that group, passed recently, but definitely laid like a beautiful, super solid foundation for mans over in the West End, you know, downtown kind of area, to come together and just, you know, perform at live showcases and just flex their chops on those stages. I can't recall if it was every single Monday, but it was still a frequent enough thing to allow people to just get out there and ultimately have a platform to practice, man. Like, you know, especially when there's so many places that weren't really open to stuff like that. Or if you want to look at it, like, a lot of the OGs weren't necessarily putting together things for the young cats to do. It kind of felt like it's the young cats that had to create things for themselves and, you know, help put ourselves on, you know. So
I agree with that. I feel like even just like if you're talking about yourself or even us, I feel like a lot of it just comes from us like looking around and being like, yo, like,
nothing's going on.
There's nothing really popping. Facts. like there's nothing really popping. Like, you might know a 1-2 mans that are like doing something. At the same time, it's just like, I never felt like a sense of community, if you will. Or like I never, even with research done, I never felt like there was a place that I can go to for sure.
For real.
Where I could, you know, learn something for free, or just see somebody else do something, you know, perform, do some spoken word, do something.
Yeah.
Paint something.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't see a lot of that.
Just artists in general.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was so hard for us to pick it out. It seemed like, you know, we went to the same school, and it seemed like that was lucky almost, because it didn't feel like there was anybody else who was.
For real.
But and I don't blame anybody, because we didn't grow up with any of that precedent set. So it's true. Like, our generation kind of had to lay those foundation. And
absolutely,
we're getting to this point here where every time I connect with a different, and it's especially a Scarborough artist like you, we have such similar stories of how we came up, because that's the culture of how we grew up in, you know. So then it's really interesting how in one way we feel like, you know, we're kind of trailblazing, but then now we're getting to this point where we're connecting with all these other trailblazers, and then it can only go, you know, it can only go
there.
from there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm happy about, just being around right now. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, we've talked about this ourselves. Like, we've talked about like missing out on opportunities in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just like whether it be like.
Not being able to go to that event on,
maybe not going to an event,
on a
not going to a party, not
real.
being able to get signed because we didn't live in this area, or we didn't know this person. But I feel like this is one of those things that like we cannot miss right now. Like,
we in it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? The whole Scarborough movement itself, it's like we are involved in this. So like we can't, you know, miss this opportunity. We have to take advantage of it fully.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Because I feel like this is what's going to be popping next. Like, people are going to be recognizing us for our artistic talents.
Oh,
and I said this I think last week, or I don't know if it was personal or whatnot, but I feel like us over here, like on the East End, I feel like we have some of the most like talented people here in the city, like just overall, like doing so much and so much different stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just one thing.
Oh, not
everyone's
at all.
doing everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. There's so much hidden gems here. It's like, it's scary what's gonna happen in the next like 5 years, who you're gonna see just popping out of here. It's like, what the hell? Like, where have I been? Like, this has been Scarborough the whole time. How come we didn't know? It's like, yo, you guys didn't pay attention. Like, nobody looked at us.
No man's want to come down here.
Nobody wanted to come down here. Man's been want to sweep us under the rug and talk beer nights about us.
You tell
on
a man
the
you're from
news.
Scarborough, like,
Scarborough, like.
Perfect example, like if there's like someone gets murdered in like Etobicoke, they say the intersection. If someone gets killed in Scarborough, they just say Scarborough.
It's the whole.
the
you know
whole
how
thing.
big Scarborough is?
Exactly.
Scarborough is so.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, like they say Jane and Finch, but they won't say like the intersection of Scarborough. They say Scarborough. Like, we get generalized. Like,
the day man got shot on a street. There was another one at like Warden and Eglinton or something, and they're like 2 shootings in Scarborough today. You know,
it's like.
But meanwhile, these are kilometers.
Yeah.
Like the next shooting was like 40 kilometers away. Like
that's how big Scarborough can get.
Massive,
you know what I
man.
mean? Like,
it's massive out here,
man. You know, so much stigma, but I can say like I'm so proud of the fact that everybody's really just like kind of put aside whatever other people have said about them and just put their head to work. You know, they really gone open up the books and just do what they got to do, the due diligence to make sure that the craft that they're cooking up is something that's gonna connect and go beyond Scarborough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm really excited.
And that's like, you know, with Rise, everyone's welcome. You know, like it's weird because I don't want to talk specifically about Scarborough, but it is what we're talking about. But the way that it's like we want to build something for ourselves where we don't feel like we're lacking anything anymore.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. As you were saying, resources, I think once like remix projects slipped my mind. Like, you know, I want to shout out those guys, and those guys even for being OGs, like helping some of the young cats out. Like, I definitely give them their props
for sure.
Remix projects is one of them. But again, like, I still need to think.
I feel like I can count on a hand.
That's
though.
what it
You know
is.
what I mean?
Like a single hand.
Like,
it's not that many, and that's the one thing that like has always kind of bothered me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's funding or just, you know, the people or blah blah blah. You know, it could be so many different things. But
like me and Tamir got into a little bit of this before you guys came, but we were talking about how you know, the elementary schools. I think I brought this up before, but like how our I feel like especially in Scarborough, our arts funding was just like nothing. You know, after a certain
zero.
point.
Nothing,
I
man.
see the value in that.
So, you know, just even from that standpoint, you know, we're not even just talking about community programs. We're talking about us never even feeling like this was a possibility in school, you know, because there was not even an inkling of an idea that we could pursue an arts career based on based on the education that we got.
They're just gonna think you're not gonna make money doing it. So
there's the culture, because there's so many immigrants and people of color here. There's that culture you bring here where our parents want us to get real jobs,
linear,
and then there's also the fact that we don't get the funding, so the kids aren't getting their minds open to that kind of stuff.
100%.
We come here and then we tell these people that they're Canadians. You tell me I'm a born Canadian citizen, but then I don't get the same kind of access to artistic funding as somebody just because they're born in whatever, Rosedale or some shit.
Word. Yeah. Literally that. Yeah. Like I knew one of my brethren's, like he got into like one of those the art school. Is it called Rosedale?
I think so.
Yeah, I think the Rosedale like school for the arts was like, he's from Vern.
Yeah.
So he had to get up mad early every day in high school to trek his whatever 2 hours to get to Rosedale to go to high school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, like that's serious, because they just didn't have that funding maybe at Pearson or over at Mother Teresa or Pope.
And that's that's serious dedication, because at that point in my life, when I was 13, 14, I wasn't like, I'm not going to art school.
I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that's the funniest thing, because I went to I was in an art program at a school, like a specialized art program that lasted for me like a year. But the reason why I went was only because like my mom just found it. Like she found out she needed to send me like to camp, and this was when I was way younger.
Them ones.
So like she sent me to camp, and it was at this high school. Don Mills Collegiate. They have a cyber arts program. So I was going there for camp a few years before I attended high school there.
Okay.
So then I got in grade 9. I had to do this whole interview, show them my art, blah, 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 blah. Got in. And it was just like weird. Because like the only art school I really knew about was just Wexford.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was it, and that's the only one anybody in Scarborough was.
And I was just
for.
like, I'm not trying to be on Vampire Diaries or Degrassi. So
All my
even though shout out to Wexford man.
Shout out all my Wexford bands for real.
Yeah, there's a lot of Wexford man.
They're going sick right now, actually.
They're doing their
they're
thing.
going sicko.
Everyone's doing their thing, yo. Shout out all the Wexford man.
You see what happens when you get the funding?
You know what I mean?
You could go sick from early.
Imagine if you just did that for every, Scarborough high school.
And that's because that's one thing that we always regret. We're like, even like fuck the schools, fuck the funding, fuck all that. We're always like, damn, like, I wish we started making music like earlier.
Oh my gosh, like,
and we just didn't, just because we're just like.
like
That's why you gotta start doing it. When you have an idea, just do it.
Yeah,
for real,
right
man.
away. Just do it.
Shout out to Techno.
Yeah,
you could. I see man's banging out things on their phone now. It ain't nothing. Like man's banging out full songs, and I'm like, okay, like at least the access, the barrier seems to be breaking down a little more. Even the fact that you can get on your promo tip and go mad viral on like IG and stuff, like. That's pretty eye-opening and pretty cool to see, like whereas before you might have need like a serious budget label, like all types of things. Like you're seeing like other acts from Toronto,
for sure,
with very limited budgets, like find a way to get popping on there. So
even like SoundCloud, I feel like that might have been such a low-key motivator for us, because we're like, yo, we could record a track and just drop it on SoundCloud and boom, like because that's what we're doing every day. We drop a track the same night, just drop it.
Fuck it, just drop it tonight.
It's out in the world.
For real.
SoundCloud was lit. No.
But that YouTube wave, that's one too. Like I'm like, yo, I wish we caught on that. Like
we were there too. We were right I was there. Doing the watching. I should have been doing the uploading.
And every time we'd see somebody post something, it's like, yo, we could do that. Like, what the hell?
That's like, what it was. Yeah, that's what it was a lot of the time. It's just like, it was a lot of watching as well.
But lot.
But we took in. We're like, yo, fuck it. Like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
And we started doing it, but it's just one of those things that we just missed it, kind of, if you know what I mean. Like,
that initial
we had
certain wave that
you know what I mean?
Put you in a different position.
We just missed it, and that's why I'm saying like the Malvern thing or the Scarborough thing. We need to make sure we don't even need to. We're already here, we're just making sure that we're active. Continue to stay active in this community, because this is another one of those waves right now that is coming up.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. And doing whatever we can do to like keep that door like very wide open for anybody. To get it popping. Scarborough, any other low income spots that don't necessarily feel like they have access to the means to do what they need to do. Just man, seeing Drizzy kick down a certain door. I'm just trying to, you know, everybody's just trying to run through that door right now. So
everyone's just trying to get the bag, yo.
You know,
at the end of the day.
So.
And it's a weird thing too, where like I remember when Nothing Was the Same when it came out, and he had what 3 Scarborough references on there. He had like the Markham Road and the Morningside. Yeah, the Morningside, and I'm like, okay, it's cool. He's building this kind of mythology for people. I'm like, what's a man in Chicago think about what he's saying about, you know, girls in the like what do they think about this past Kennedy Road? You know, this because he's painting a picture, but he's not putting any actual visual references down, you know, whereas we have so many references of like Brooklyn and Bronx and, you know, just by watching things like Jesus and Miro or like because I mean obviously there's way more saturation of that type of stuff.
Definitely.
But like even to an extent, like I feel like Mississauga has an identity beyond ours now because people through like Party Next Door or something they might know about
those damn tall ass buildings.
Yeah.
Wonder Girl. Then again, and there's also a lot of people from even like Saga and Brampton kind of ends, like,
which kind of surprises me sometimes. It's like, yo, all
you guys got on first.
I'm like,
There's a lot of Saga Mans.
And I'm like, how dare you? How dare the Saga Mans and the Brampton Mans and the Rex Mans getting on? Like, I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, I'm complaining about how far we are, and these guys can't even take TTC. Like,
these guys are taking next transit.
I'm proud. Man's found a way.
That's crazy.
Man's felt mad salty about that for the longest time. But I'm like, you want to know what? Nah, let me just do what I gotta do for Scarborough, and we'll be with them too. Exactly. We're the last borough. What do they say, yo? You know, last but not least. It's not least at all, man. There's so much.
And I feel like we've had the most time to absorb everything that's around us. I feel like it's like so many people are on the same page, which is great because we can create a way more like cohesive identity of what this place is, rather than, you know, oh, this person's from Brampton, this person's from Brampton, but then there's not like a. I feel like what we have going is, you know, the language, the culture. It's just we put everything into it. Even the way we're talking right now, how we put that little bit of, you know, thing on it. Like we claim that as our own, you know, and that's all gonna help the art, because so much of I throw so much Scarborough shit into what I do.
For real,
you know what I mean? Because and that's great that we were able to create that culture, so now everyone can speak on it, and it's like it's like carrying that. It's like Drake set that idea of what Scarborough is, and now we're like expanding on it because we're from here.
Yeah. We have to add the visuals that, you know, we kind of try to lead us to, basically.
Yeah. Were you guys ever like ashamed of being from Scarborough?
Not really.
Yes and no.
Yeah, but like yes and no. Like just because, again, like when it mattered, it was when I went to high school.
Yeah.
And I was going to Don Mills, and man's like, yo, you live there? Like, you live in Scarborough? Is it safe? And I'm like, yo, chill. Like, it's not that serious. Like, it's not that serious. Those times have passed. Like, we've moved past those times. But, like, I've never been, like, ashamed, really.
There's definitely moments where I feel like I wish I didn't live here.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I always wish that I lived, like, downtown. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Like, a lot of other people. Because it's just, like, downtown, especially when I was growing up and getting into music, getting into art and this and that, a lot of the people that I was fucking with personally were downtown.
Yeah, exactly.
They lived in Kensington. They lived in Parkdale. They lived wherever. You know what I mean? So
and it didn't feel like anything that was going on here
was
able to support that same level of interest that was going on there. Yeah.
Exactly.
It felt like we were kind of isolated. It's like, you know, we want to be there, but we're here and there's nothing going on here.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what it was.
But now, like, I appreciate the fact that the silence, like, compared to downtown. And then the community too, like, you know.
Just how about you?
Yeah.
Like, I remember, you know, being like super young and probably to some degree, like, maybe feeling a bit like embarrassed about it. You know what I mean? And like I always remember even like not writing Scarborough on my address, like writing Toronto on the address.
I put
you
Toronto.
Know what I mean? Like I used to put Toronto like for everything,
right?
And like just to, I think like low key as a kid, because obviously like when you're a kid and you're super like impressionable.
You know what's funny? I used to put Scarborough because I'm like, yo, I'm not from Toronto, because I don't feel like I'm a part of that place. Like I don't feel like I'm a part of Toronto, so I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna write Scarborough, because I don't care that it's part of the city now. Like it doesn't feel like it's treated like a part of the city. You know?
We're not.
I think fans they just accept us. I think they like if you look at if Toronto asks like about Scarborough, they'd be like, yeah. Like, They're one of those. They're the ends that can say, yeah, that's Toronto. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of other people can't.
Just watch though, as things like bubble up even more, and the people start like going sick, and you know, there's let's say like even more resources and eyes and money coming into the city because of what's being created like artistically. Then you're gonna see, oh yeah, Scarborough, yeah, you know, we're doing stuff. We got events going on there. Like watch. Then you're gonna see a brand new RT. You're gonna like everything that you've been looking.
It's all
for.
gonna line up. Yeah.
Watch everything.
Getting streetcars by Malvern Town Center.
You know, the underground train to the zoo just now. Like.
When we get that subway line, then we'll be treated as real.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
when
people can get here.
When people can actually see, when like a man asks me, "Oh, where do you live?" I don't have to point in the black side of the map. You know?
Exactly. Past.
You see that? Yeah.
You see that? I live past that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So follow the Finch line. Okay, stop there. Okay, keep going.
You see it?
Just keep going all the way. Yeah.
If ever like a person downtown asks you where you live and where you get off, and you say like I get off at like Scarborough.
Yeah.
You're like, what? It's not done. It's the bus.
I try to explain to them like getting to Kennedy is half the battle.
Half the trip.
Yeah.
That's a whole like 30 minutes of your trip.
They can't even fathom going to Kennedy, you know, and they're like, "Holy shit, Kennedy Station, that's so deep." I'm like, "Yo, bro, like that's light work to me."
That's
like,
what the real ones. The real ones past Kennedy Road.
Been on this.
Yeah,
man. Jeez.
We did our arts community talk. This was very in depth. I enjoyed that conversation. It was very nice. Yeah. Let's move or transition to or segue or whatever into like even just talking about like some of the outlets, and whether it be blogs or YouTube channels, Instagram pages, or whoever that artists are able to utilize or can't really utilize because they're kind of trash.
Or they're just very selective. Which is fine. I get it. Like they get to curate their content.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's for different, like the wrong reasons, not quality of music, maybe clout or stuff like that. I feel like a lot of blogs are choosing
just entertainment.
Just
entertainment. Yeah. Like, for example, like for artists, what are the blogs and stuff like that people are able to go to here in the city, here in Toronto? Again, that's what we're trying to focus on, Toronto or Canada. If
it wasn't like a huge amount, like can we think?
Yeah, like for example, us for 750 when we try to think about where we want to put stuff, one of the first names we come up with is Six Buzz, even though we don't want to think that name. It's like that's like one of the first three names we think of, and it's like that's not even it's not even a music you know what I mean?
Really music driven. It's just entertainment. Like a World Star, but World Star was music.
And I'm not.
It's a mixture.
I'm not disrespect. I'm not dissing anybody who gets those premieres on the channels because it works for them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But like it's a very specific audience that you're getting, and it's almost like they're not actually you pretty much are paying to get roasted if you want to put your shit on their IG.
Yeah.
And I mean it's not like it's a bad thing, because obviously the publicity is going to be good, and obviously songs that can get roasted can blow up.
Of course.
But it's not like you're gonna get a premiere on Six Buzz and all the comments are gonna be like, "Yo, keep up, man. This is fire." Like you're not getting like industry connects and stuff off of something like that look like that, unless it blows up,
Yeah.
But Ian's out here getting embarrassed.
Yeah, see, that was jokes. Look at his mic stand, man.
But no, I agree. Like when it comes to stuff like Six Buzz, for example, again, like you were mentioning, it was like the World Star and whatnot earlier before we started recording. I agree with that, because it's just like, again, it's just like one of those Instagram pages, or if you will, sites, because I feel like what they're trying to do is become more of a company in the media sense. Just from little hints that they've been showing us. I feel like it's not necessarily the best way to go about trying to get your music out there.
Yeah.
Or anything that you create, whether it be a video or something else. And that's the trouble that, again, like Kevin was just saying, like we've had ourselves. Like we're trying to look to somewhere just to post up our video or post up our mixtape, post up a song, and I'm running out of ideas.
Yeah.
I'm running out of places to go to.
It's like we're not submitting our shit to these big blogs in the States or something. We're trying to take steps.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, so what's the first thing you want to do as a musician? It's like you want to reach out to the people who are nearest to you. It's just like, let's get our name out in Toronto rather than just being isolated right here. But it doesn't seem like there's anything supporting Toronto artists online where you can actually get your stuff out, and it's a platform where people actually respect the content that's coming out. There's only really a handful of them,
Like,
especially with hip hop too.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. Like I remember when I don't know if 6 Track is still up, but like I remember when they were kind of coming up, that kind of seemed like it was gonna be like, oh yo, is this gonna be the place now? Because it kind of seemed like a lot of like hot shit was kind of bubbling up on there, and the guy whoever was running it, he seemed to be posting like a variety of stuff. So you weren't just gonna get one specified type of rap music or R&B music. Like he was giving like, if it had flavor, which like there's so many things in the city that have flavor. Like if it had some flavor, like your chances of landing a spot on that blog were kind of, high.
Yeah.
And like I like checking out that site a lot at the time and just seeing, okay, yo, who's up on there now?
Right.
And you'd find some really cool acts, and oh yo, how could I get myself up on there? But like no, like now I'm thinking about it, like there's not that many places that I know too much of that people like really frequent. Like I don't really know how many people are on like Hip Hop Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
blogs are kind of phasing out. Like I know we're on the topic of blogs, but it's like maybe they're becoming irrelevant. It's more about like playlists.
Yeah, I mean it is. It definitely like
It is.
that's not even just a Toronto or Canada problem. That's like
that's some
it
music.
is.
That's
It
just
has
in general.
shifted to the playlist culture.
Yeah.
Because the radio doesn't matter as much. Your new radio is your playlist, basically.
Playlist
You get on a
radio.
playlist, you're getting plays,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly.
But I feel like it's a thing where I don't think it's. Maybe it is. Maybe it's something where as a public, because of things like Spotify, now we don't even care to go on the internet and look up sites anymore, because we just go on Spotify. It's like, oh, here's this playlist we made for you. Maybe that's why. But I feel like it's also something where it's like, if there was a handful of blogs, because I remember back in the day, like in high school, there was Wake Up, there was that list of Pitchfork, whatever, Hypebeast. There's exactly. There's that list that I would go through for new music every morning.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I don't even know where I'd go to like find new music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think about it. Where am I finding music now? It's
I was
mostly
gonna
just
ask you guys like where where do you find new artists now?
honestly for
Like, where is
me,
it?
like it's been for new artists, and like I've talked about this before as well. It's like I've listened to so much different type of music now, and I've gotten so deep into finding new artists that it's just like weird. Like I'm listening to some weird dudes.
Yeah.
But it's all on SoundCloud.
It's algorithms now mostly, right? Like
It's a lot of SoundCloud.
Yeah.
SoundCloud is what I'm using.
Yeah.
I might see somebody pop up on like Instagram that I'm like, oh, they're pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's
Or
kinda
like
how
a
it is
YouTube
for me
video.
now.
It's kind of
YouTube
it's kind of
video
like it's based on the social media things that we use now. It's not like there's these places that you can
Specific
go
hubs,
to. Yeah.
So I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
The answer to get discovered is not really blogs anymore. It's probably social media.
Yeah.
I think that's the
But do you-
reality.
kind of under one house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like if a quality blog came out that had, for example,
Exactly.
a playlist and a YouTube channel and
Yeah.
this and that, almost like again, if you will, like a Six Buzz, do you feel like that would take off?
I think it can. I never said like blogs are retired. It's just the way, I don't know, like
They kinda
blogs have
operate
just-
differently.
Blogs
Yeah.
have shifted to
Yeah.
social media.
Even like so like
yeah.
R&B
Yeah.
Radar, right? Like they're technically a blog in a sense because they discover new music and stuff, but they operate completely on like Twitter and
Exactly.
Spotify
Yeah.
and
Okay,
Instagram.
they operate
I feel like a
changed,
lot of
right?
these new
Yeah.
platforms, they have to they barely need the website anymore. It's
Yeah,
it's mostly based on like how they get it out, because people are going on Twitter and Instagram. They're not going on Google anymore.
not
you know?
at all,
No
man.
one's going on the internet.
It's
actually
relatively
anymore.
new too.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
been a few years this
Yeah.
is happening. Right?
Yeah.
For real. And people are probably just, I feel like a lot of the trust is in a lot of the seasoned kind of networks, like Billboard.com,
Yeah.
Complex.ca, or like the things that already have a name. Like that's where people.
Even just like that idea of getting like the Fader premiere or that thing. It's mostly just for the name of
Just
it.
the name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
just
getting
the name.
discovered on it
Yeah, yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Like no one's
Yeah.
finding your stuff.
It's
off
just
that
to add
anymore.
to like your little resume.
It's like
Yeah.
something you can say.
It's just to
that
put it in
you're
your
on.
grants and
Yeah,
your bios and
Exactly.
yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Winning an award.
Yeah, that's just one of the things that like kind of irks me. It's just like I really wish that there was just a quality.
Because
blog out
and
there.
see the people who get those things like the Billboard.com and stuff. It's like you don't even need that at this point
You're
anymore.
plugged.
Yeah,
You've been plugged.
You're safe.
In, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I'm still old fashioned guy. I just want a spot that I can go to, just to find new music that's sick.
Yeah.
In my area or
Yeah.
city or
Yeah.
wherever, whether
Yeah.
it be the world too. I just want a spot to go to where I can like, trust that the music is gonna be good, different, and even
Yeah.
if it's not even that great, just like something, something that's like not what I've been listening to, not what everybody else is necessarily posting all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like the problem with the playlists is like there's that. I also trusted like things like Needle Drop. Like it's not just about discovering the music. It's like their opinion on it too. You kind of trust what they're saying about it. You know,
their honest opinion.
Yeah, but when you just get a Spotify playlist, it's like, okay, I trust this guy's opinion, but I don't know if, I don't know. I want to know more about these songs.
100%, yeah.
And you want to look it up more, but
yeah,
with the websites and blogs, it used to be a thing where you could actually get the whole read up and the spiel and stuff. You know,
I even specified like radio shows like OTA Live and like Project Bounce. I don't know if you guys remember some of that stuff. Like that used to be on the radio, like like late night shows. Yeah, but I used to put on like a lot of new. Like underground, but just crazy ill stuff that you never really knew where to get. You know, like at that time, even when I was like searching up on blogs, a lot of that stuff I couldn't even find on blogs yet. It was just on these late night radio shows. But
yeah, like I watched the that Stretch and Bobby Doe documentary on Netflix, and it was they were talking about like that was like they had like an underground kind of hip hop radio station. And it just talked about like. Because they were so focused on breaking out new acts, it became this thing where people would like, record the tapes and sell them and stuff because it became so hot. Like, I think Wu-Tang, part of them popping off was because they literally just ran up in that station. It's like, yo, we're coming on here. And then they started spitting like a crazy freestyle. So they have like these nasty freestyles of like early Biggie, early, what are they called? Halfway Crooks with, Mobb Deep, yeah, like all those 90s New York guys, they were on there at first, and that's such a crazy thing to like be a part of that culture where not only as a listener, it's like, man, I remember listening to Busta Rhymes or whoever for the first time, Big Pun or whatever. We don't have anything like that, and also as artists, because when I was watching this documentary, I'm like, if this existed for us, we would have done run up on that radio station. You know what I mean? Like that would have definitely happened. We would have spit a freestyle. It would have been the hardest shit we ever wrote. But it would have been a freestyle.
Guys are practicing on the way there.
Lock it.
This is off the top.
I got two verses for two different type of tempos.
Yeah, this whole
when you're shooting a video, just shoot up here. Don't shoot the hands. Just shoot up here.
Don't look at the hands.
Yeah, and it's like something like that where, if we can appreciate like something like that existing, how come that can't come back?
I feel like it can.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen that. I can't remember what it's called. Like I remember seeing there's an Instagram page that like they seem to focus on Toronto acts, and it's like they do this thing where they'll have them maybe perform like their single, like whatever's bubbling for them right now, and they'll have them perform it in like this really kind of aesthetically pleasing room. It's like its own version of Colors.
Right, yeah.
They'll have you like sing your song, and I can't.
Is it in a condo or something?
Maybe, but like it's a really like fancy looking room, well designed, and people are just. I seen one with like Just John. I seen one with Havaya Mighty. I seen one with they get like
Toronto. Sick.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
I feel like I know what it is, but I don't remember the name.
Shit, I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
That shit was already done.
Yeah, I feel like this sounds really familiar.
Yeah, if I do my digging and scrolling, I'll probably find it on somebody's profile. And,
there's a few of those, and I like those because like me and Kevin back in the day when we were like really getting into music and stuff like that, we used to watch this YouTube channel, and they used to do these things called takeaway shows.
Yeah, Blogatech. Yeah.
So they would do like live acoustic performances, for example, with artists like just in the streets.
Word up.
Or like just walking around fucking Paris.
Yeah.
Or some shit.
Word.
I mean, it was European.
It was mainly a European thing.
Okay.
So it was obviously like beautiful because they're kind of like going through these nice places. Of course. Yeah, but it was like intimate, but then also, it was also like a different version of the song too, and it's like. Yeah,
it's like really, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So I like seeing stuff like that now.
As
well, because like for
there's
example,
still a place
Colors,
for it. Yeah,
there's still a place because I like to see live performances or just
man.
Like
even seeing how BBC, like they seem to still be very in tune with just like a variety of cultures and wanting to express it in so many different ways. You see how they got their one extra live performances, like grabbing people whoever's bumping, even if you're not like super bumping, but you're just kind of on the come up. Like they'll throw you up on there, and like I have a lot of respect for how they carry on, even for a big name like BBC. We're talking about.
Exactly.
They don't have to do a damn thing. They could totally just be like, we're only gonna put on guys with like super high record deals or something like that. But
I feel like London's felt like London's kind of been a part of wanting to be progressive in that sense, like bring up the people that are,
Yeah.
They know it's more about who's next rather than who's right now. Whereas I feel like we care more about who's now. Yeah.
Just who's on. It's like numbers and money.
Yeah.
Very much.
The thing that I have learned though is that like since a lot of these things, it's not even that they're not necessarily available, but sometimes you just gotta make the things that you're looking for. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? So it's that's why we're starting all this stuff. Like,
and I was gonna say, I feel like that goes back to our Scarborough conversation. I was gonna bring it up too. I find that a lot of Scarborough artists, because we had to do everything for ourselves, we literally did everything for ourselves. Like you talked about how you were a graphic designer first, then a musician. We just so casually spit out things like, oh yeah, I do this and I do that and I do this, like,
like because you had to.
Because I had to.
And people sometimes some people will be like, what, you do all of that? It's like, and it doesn't. You don't get it because it doesn't seem like it's something that was like hard for us. It's just like we had to do it. Like you had to learn these things, because no one else was doing it.
I had to learn Photoshop.
Yeah, that's it.
Can't do
Fact.
Everything, how to play some instruments, a little 1, 2.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I would consider myself like kind of almost getting there, and I still had to do my own artwork. You know what I mean? Like we're still at that, and it's not even like I could have found somebody, but because we created that mindset where it's like, yeah, we can get things done on our own if we need to. If we can, then we will. Yeah. Then that's sort of like it's really helped create our own identity because we're dipping our toes in so many different things. You
know how to learn.
Even just like see, like we've talked with different artists, and I know the artists that I can talk to about things like video stuff, which I would be a little bit more knowledgeable in like film stuff, just because these are the people that I work with the most.
Absolutely.
But and like you have a knowledge of that too, just because as Scarborough artists, I feel like we need to we have that like desire to.
We're the jack of all trades, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it.
We're in a very blue, even like Scarborough's super blue collar, man. Like everybody's like getting up, going to factory jobs,
all those labor jobs.
There's a lot of labor jobs, man.
The suits and ties downtown.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And a lot of us are like the offspring of immigrants.
Yeah.
So like they came from like nothing and had to figure it out, doing everything to get the measliest thing. So it's like we still carry it. It's still very much in our DNA.
Yeah, I came from a family with no artistic no one was in a professional arts career like job or whatever in a capacity like that, but the instilling that like whatever you put your mind to you can do is with us, and I don't get like other people when they have like parents or even relatives who do things and they still need to be like spoon-fed how to start making a beat or something like that, or it's like just start, what I mean? Like I did that
for real,
exactly. For me personally, it's like it's funny because like me and my family, it's like there were a few people that were artistic. It was like my cousin, like he made beats and stuff like that. My mom, she used to draw, she used to paint. And it's just like with everybody that I've noticed in my family, not dissing, but it was just like it never really went anywhere.
Nobody wanted to,
no one wanted to take it on. You know what I mean?
And
I feel like I was one of the first people to be like fuck it, like I'm just gonna.
What else are we doing anyway?
I'm just gonna make shit.
Like this is.
I've tried the whole job stuff. You know what I mean? I tried the whole school thing. Never been one for school really. Never been one for working at a job too much. I was like, oh fuck. One day I just remember just saying, oh fuck it, like let me just make shit, like like, whether it be music or
that's what like
videos.
Me and Tamir were having a conversation before about like how sometimes the simplest answer is the thing, and it's like that. Something you just sit down and it's like let me just make shit. It sounds so simple, but that's
what it is, though. Because it's
that's
like,
our driving.
That's what motivates me. It keeps me going all the time. Like I don't have all the money in my pockets, but it's just like thinking about like where I can be in the future. You know what I mean?
For real,
like,
man.
This is all part of the process. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be like this.
Even
right
just
now.
like breaking it down, where it's like, okay, I could have either made $200 today, busting my ass, or I could like try and make something that I'm actually proud of. It's like, what's $200 at that point?
Exactly. Money becomes like whatever to me.
100%, man. Like I can't put a financial value on all the the hours, man, I just sat down watching YouTube videos, or even before YouTube was really the thing.
Yeah.
It's like reading articles, like, you know, even like picture tutorials on websites. It's like
websites
how to
and shit.
learn certain things, and you know, those are all those things now.
Self-taught.
Yeah, man, all
Like,
that
we're all
stuff is.
self-taught artists for the most part.
Yeah, man,
I
I
went
gotta-
to school a little bit, but
But yeah, even when we went to school,
Yeah,
it was just like,
it
I
didn't-
know this.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't actually like help.
That's
For
how
real,
I
yeah.
have to come. I'm like,
Because that's
I
how
can't pay
that's
y'all
how
10
it was
racks
for
for this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I already know this. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah, because that's how it was for
Exactly.
like me. Like I went to York for a bit, and then I dropped out of school for a year or two or something like that. And then I remember waking up one day and I just had a plan. I just woke up. I was like, fuck it, let me go to school again. Like, but I just went to Centennial, but I kept it in mind. I'm like,
different.
I'm just gonna go there because I want to meet some people.
Exactly.
I want to brush up on some skills and maybe just learn how to work with a group of people.
Word.
You know what
And
I mean?
think if I was to ever take a school route again, it would be under that pretense. Like,
I didn't care about anything else.
grades.
I didn't graduate. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't graduate at all. And I could graduate totally. I just need to finish an English course. But I was just like, fuck it. Like, I got what I needed out of this
Exactly.
experience. This is what I went in here for.
The reason why you're doing this podcast is because of that experience.
Exactly.
I mean, you wouldn't
Yeah,
have met me.
exactly.
And,
Yeah.
like, probably wouldn't have started this company between us three.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
everything
that's
just
right.
works
Yeah,
out.
that's
it
sick.
worked. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's what I mean.
So,
Yeah.
my mom doesn't like it. She's like, you just need to graduate, just finish it. And I'm like, dude, like, I technically did. Like,
Yeah.
I've done what I'm here
in the
doing
field.
this. Yeah, I'm doing what I want to be
you
doing.
know, the more and more I start to like I really start to resent that idea of like, you want to see this piece of paper for what? Like, you know, what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just been trained. Like, there's so much value
Yeah.
in this paper. but,
Sometimes
like,
I
it's not
thought about it.
relevant
I'm like,
anymore.
yo, I could just go and sit down in a university lecture, right, for the whole semester,
Yeah.
and I'd learn everything in that class. I wasn't doing the essays and tests, but I'm still learning everything.
You can totally do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? When I was
check an idea, like
and when I was in university, the thing I liked to do was take the material I was learning from like philosophy and English and stuff and put it into songs. I didn't like doing the essays and stuff. You know what I mean?
Word.
And it's like, so what if I just learned the stuff because I like learning,
Yeah.
and then applying it in my way because I'm still absorbing it. And it's like, okay, I just don't have this piece of paper at the end of it. Like,
Yeah, that's light work to
Yeah.
me, bro.
And
I got some debt.
yeah,
That's it. I'll pay that off one day, yo. Whatever, yo.
They just tell you need that piece of paper because that's gonna help you get a job.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? That's not who we are.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
trying to start our
also,
own
we know
thing.
that
We
like
don't-
from
we-
all the
yeah.
friends that we have who've had degrees, it's like, yeah, that isn't the way. That isn't the case anymore.
every
Like,
single
doesn't-
like so many of my brethren that ended up, you know, doing the graduating
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
they're all not doing anything.
Yeah.
It
with
sounds
with
sad.
the,
It's
like
just-
the paper, if anything, was just like, we just want to make sure that you have a degree so you can work at the bank so we know you're competent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah,
it's
you know
like
what I mean? Like, that doesn't make-
I don't have that paper, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm competent enough to
Yeah.
work as a teller in a
The
bank. Like,
reality
you
is,
know what I
like,
mean?
anyone
Like,
could probably do it. Like, who has a
Yeah.
simple
Yeah.
ability.
It's just about
customer
weeding out the
service
people.
and just being.
yeah, which I understand
Exactly.
fully, but yeah.
It's about weeding out people, saying basically, it's almost like, you know, it's like just a trial, if you will. Oh, so
Yeah.
you could finish school, you could sit in class for a few hours.
Yeah.
So
Great, you
got
got the
the-
job.
What's unfortunate though is you end up with like how much debt.
Yeah, you know
and
what I
it takes
mean?
you like 10 years to pay it off.
Yeah,
So that's what
fucked.
sucks. That's what sucks, right?
crazy.
So that's
yeah.
unfortunate. And then a lot of people coming out. Yeah, again, like you said, they end up not getting the job they went to school for, or at least not for a long time. So
Or yeah, I've had so many friends who they come out of this 4 years and because I remember, you know, just thinking, okay, I just got to finish high school, obviously, and then it's like I started doing a university program. Where it's like, let me see where it goes. I don't think that's a good way to think
No,
about
no,
it.
I
Because,
think that's a
yeah,
It's a terrible
way to
way.
and you
think
know,
about it.
I feel like
Terrible way.
at least half of the students who go to university are like they have a program, but they're undecided. You know what I
But
mean? Like
it's-
they don't
For
know what
real.
they're doing,
And
And
I'm
you
just
know
like,
what's-
yo, like, you got kids in here just burning
Yeah.
money that
Yeah.
does not belong
I'm
to
just gonna be
you.
a lawyer,
and they don't
you know?
care because
Like,
all they're trying to do is scoop the money.
It's just collect. I
Yeah.
remember when like half those teachers there, you know, whatever budgets that they get access to.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like one of my profs where it was literally his duty. It was just like, yo, we get a certain amount of money every single year, and we have to spend it, or it goes back into whatever pot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did, and it clicked with me. I'm like, wait, whatever is in this guy's pot is coming out of my OSAP.
Yeah.
Everybody's loan money, and
Yeah.
he's literally out here just balling, buying max like it's nobody's
Yeah, man.
business. Like, yo, I gotta spend the money. Cop 28-inch, you know, max.
Can't even
you know,
swing
like,
nothing, yo.
you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just sitting, I'm in the guy's office, and it's just computers everywhere. And I'm like, yo, this is my money,
Yep.
and
That's
I
how it
gotta.
works.
fuck this place, man. I'm out of here.
You know what always cheesed me on the lows? Like how do I got a class, for example? Let's just say it was like a math class, but I gotta pay $50 for the code just to get onto the access thing online.
Yeah.
To do homework.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
I'm already paying for this. Yeah.
I just paid for the course, but you tell me I have to pay to do my homework now.
Finesse.
And I was like, yeah, I'm off this. Like,
It's such a finesse.
like I'm blessed.
Like,
Thanks.
crazy.
Or like even if you have like textbooks or something like that, you buy a textbook, but in the textbook there's a code to do homework on.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
and you know what's so sad too is like when you get in that mind state too, because I remember it was like, oh, you need to get it, so I need to get this textbook.
Yeah,
I need to pay for this class. I need to pay for the online thing. You know, it's like, but I already paid. Like I remember at UTSC it was like $750 for a course or something. I think like approximately. It's like so I'm paying $7 for a man to talk, but like they're not checking on if I'm going there or not. Yeah. And most times I wasn't going there, so paying $7 to not hear this person talk. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then it's like I still got to pay an extra 1, 2, 3 bills for the book too. Like. But you're talking.
The books are heavy on the price too.
Yeah.
Like for
$150, and it's like you take it
bills,
in. You could just read the book, and then you like obviously the professor gives some insight. So it's like, how about one or the other? Like, why not have it just so you don't need the book
because no man's running through the whole book.
Yeah.
I don't know any personally. I don't know any program where you touch every page in a textbook. You know what I mean?
They use a section or whatever. So.
I think it's just a way to finesse, because half the time a lot of the profs are like co-writers on the books too.
Yeah.
So it's just a way for them to like sell books and like like hopefully I can end up New York Times bestseller. Yeah.
The biggest finesse.
It's just a finesse, man. Whole school. I'm not knocking all school. Like, shout out to the teachers out there that actually care. You know what I'm saying? And really,
some people, like, I get it. If you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school.
Yeah, bro. You're not a doctor. You're not touching me.
And we're doctors, like, in society. So, sure, go to school, take the 10 years.
No, and if you found something that there was a path to university that's very clear, it's like, okay, I want to do this, and I can do this program, and I can do it. I feel like college's programs are a lot more designed for that, like like apprenticeships, because they're more based on that. But like university, it's like you could do an English degree is the most generic thing, an art history, and those are what bare people are doing, and they're literally paying like $20,000, $30,000 to just, and it doesn't do anything for you. You know?
I know a guy. He's like they're older, and like his wife, like she did the whole thing. She got a whole doctorate in English. A doctorate, bro. She's in debt 100 racks. She can't even get a job.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's English, like what kind of job do you get with that?
You have to be a professor or a teacher. Or,
you just
like that's literally it. But she can't even lock that down because like the people are already holding down those positions. Exactly. So it's just like.
If you can't get a job in that, you just teach people the same useless information.
Basically,
I saw where my life.
And you paid. You teach at a school that you got to pay back for.
Yeah.
Still.
Basically, the first 10 years of your salary, or you're just giving them back the money.
Giving them back the money because
it's kids at U of T, then you teach at U of T, and then the money you make for U of T, you give back to U of T.
So basically, you were trapped there for like 4, 5, 6 years. Then you're trapped there for another 10 years, just paying them back for being trapped there. Then you can start making some money.
Surreal, man.
That's wild.
That's crazy. 100 racks. 100 racks of student debt. Oh my god.
What? Crazy.
And we're light too. Canada's like light compared to the States too.
In terms of money, tuition,
Even it's trash for like international students. They're paying triple what we're paying, and I'm like, damn, that sucks. And these guys are coming from like war-torn countries, having to bust out racks.
Even get it.
They're paying 100 racks to come to UTSC. I'm like, bro, I walked here. Like,
I don't get it at all.
Yeah, it sucks, yo. It's all a finesse.
I guess they need education here to get a better job here.
But like, then you just gonna pimp them serious, like crazy.
It is crazy.
You're selling them on this dream that's just like they don't know any better too. It's like it seems like the only option. It's the only option for us too. So like it seems like a better option for them, but
I don't know.
Man, like
basically, yo, if you're in the arts.
That's the thing. Yeah.
If you're in the arts, you're pretty blessed. Like, don't worry about fucking school. Like,
But you're gonna have to work really hard.
You gotta work hard.
You're gonna have to want it.
If you're not actually gonna be doing this, then don't do it. Like,
The only thing I can say school really taught me that kind of correlates to an artist is like using my agenda and like being organized in regards to like if you want to execute a big thing, you got to break that down into chunks, kind of like. all the maybe school work that takes place throughout the year, which leads up to you doing that final exam. Like that's like a foreshadowing to like
actual hitting
real
deadlines.
Life. Yeah. Like,
hitting deadlines and stuff like that.
That's things to learn in school like that.
Yeah.
But
that's the one thing that I still take out of school is like, at the end of the day, like, is two things that's always going to happen that is just like school. You're still going to have homework, if you will.
Yep.
You're going to have deadlines. Like, I have edits to do. I have this. We have shoots to prep for, blah, 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 blah. And also, no matter what, you're always going to be judged. You're getting graded no matter what.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah.
In
everything.
life.
Everybody's always going to try to put a value on something.
On everything, for sure.
For real.
You know, it is wild, though, like, how, like, Pornhub is, like, the YouTube of, like, the porn industry.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really fascinating. And I like Pornhub's branding as well.
Dude, Pornhub's dope, yo. They got their marketing on point. Like, they're creating content, like, outside of just, like, their porn. Like,
Yeah.
They're, like, a dope company. Like.
So, before, we had a really good conversation before this about just everything about sex. But do you think that the way that Pornhub comments are hilarious and the way that Pornhub seem to have legitimized itself, where it's like we can openly talk about Pornhub, do you think that's part of the, the conversation we had about, like, making it not seem as sick as it is, you know what I mean, like, because
just like trying to normalize it,
like, is that a good thing or is that a bad? Because you know how we're still talking about how it is sick, it is a sickness still,
masturbating, right?
Jerking off masturbating masturbating's not a sickness.
Well, no,
like
being addicted to it.
Yes.
But do you think? But do you think the fact that because we can have such an open conversation about it, is that like a good thing? Or?
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
to be able to talk about it. I remember back when I was a kid, it's like everybody was fucking doing it, but like everybody just keeping it mad low key. Like, yo, you see that? Nah, bro.
Because I remember like growing up and I'm hearing, because I remember growing up and hearing man's talking about like boners and shit like that. And what the fuck are you talking about? Boner, what the fuck, yo? But now it's like, something like Pornhub, I feel like it actually has helped just normalize everything, which again, it's taboo. It's just about being able to have open conversation about whether it be porn or just sex or whatever, just shit that we're watching, shit that we're into. But yeah, I do find that very interesting, and that is very correct. Just like.
But I guess it is good too, because it creates a conversation. It also does help us to explore our sickness, or not sickness, but like our disgusting behaviors.
Disgust is healthy behavior, like if it's controlled. If it's, I'm not a doctor.
If it's controlled, but like,
if it starts taking over your life, then
but that's what I mean too. Because if it didn't exist like that, it would be something like how mental health conversations need to come a long way in terms of how it used to be swept under the rug. Same thing like that. Like having porn conversations makes it easier to actually talk about these things, because it is something that is going to happen. People are going to see it. So
I've always felt like it was also like not necessarily the icebreaker, but just a great conversation to have with a group of people.
For sure.
Even if they're like not even fully comfortable, because it's just like, dude, like, we're all doing this. So.
Like, what's up?
That is true.
Like, we might as well just talk about this.
Would not be comfortable with that.
Exactly.
At all. Especially if they didn't know them that well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, we'll get back to your point. Like, who's gonna crush the first alien? Like,
we're talking about some alien stuff. Just
that's one small dicking for men.
It's like if aliens came to Earth, it's like, would we partake in that kind of behavior?
Honestly,
it's funny because I think porn has led the way to like just wilding out your thoughts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that maybe my brain would have never gone to, and it's just like only because of like how crazy the selection of shit you can see in regards to porn. Like,
porn has gotten
that's
so
kind of opened up your brain. It's like, yeah, bro, yo, I might crush an alien still. Like, it's just like, you would have never been like, alien, are you crazy? Nah, bro.
Porn has really gotten more extreme over the decades.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you ever just like go back, watch some vintage porn, some basic stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, average stuff is like what? Some DP double whatever.
Some like some crazy some family.
Shit. Or we get into taboo.
That's the taboo thing is lit right now.
Crazy. That's why I had to say. That's why I had to take the step back, man. I'm like,
I have have a problem with the family style. I don't like that.
I've low-key, I've gotten used to it.
I know, I've gotten used to it, but I don't like that it's
this?
the dominating thing right now.
It's been popping.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, are normalizing this? Because even when I go and check like some of the no fat boards and see like, because the community is such a diverse community, bro. You're seeing like, man's in here like 13, like, yo, bro, like, I've been doing this since I was 10. I'm like, yo, bro, like, interesting that you're here. And then you got managers like, yo, like, I'm 60 years old. I've had a problem with this thing for the past 30 years. That led to my divorce. Fucking this, lost my job because I was doing it at work. I'm like, yo, like, there is so, like, you know, and just kind of seeing, like, you know, sometimes the wilder things get. I think things can get a little wilder because, like, man's are always looking for that next thrill. Like, after you've been busting it to, like, one thing for so long, you're like, yo, honestly, yo, like, I need something else.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like,
sometimes I'll get bored.
They'll start experimenting.
I'll get bored of stuff. So you think you could just switch up the porn star or something? That kind of works for a little while.
Switch up the category.
Then you're like,
deeper and deeper. All right, yo, when's the animals coming in?
Let's
like,
get it.
whoa.
Bust it up here, cat, bro.
That's actually illegal. So. See that?
But the fact that was that's a thing. I remember as a kid, like, as a kid, yo, bro, you're going, yo. You're just going, what's out there, you know what I mean? And, like, just stumbling on all types of stuff. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I don't know about this.
It's a wild, evolution, because you just start, you know, one day you're just at home alone, lucky you have the computer to yourself, yo. And you just type in Google boobies or some shit.
Yeah.
Tits.
Yeah.
Or, like, a celebrity, fucking, like, Jessica Alba nude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, like
12, when
you start learning stuff, and then you start just going, and then you're looking up double DPs.
Because I think, like, you think,
looking at,
but I think your brain, just from like a primitive standpoint, like it thinks like it hit like the fucking like evolutionary jackpot. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you type in boobs, you see like. Definitely us as humans now, like, we've seen through porn, like, we've seen more naked women and more naked bodies than our like ancestors have ever seen in their entire than all of our ancestors together all added in one. Like, we've seen more,
and they were just naked. They were bare naked, like,
and they were already
we've still seen more though.
I mean, we're just, it's instant. We just see all that, we're consuming all that, like, you know, like adult content.
Yeah,
it's just
crazy. Yo.
It's taken over. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's a reason why like a lot of people do it, and it's really just, it's all about that dopamine hit. I don't know if you guys understand the whole reason why like a lot of men, good, bro. Men and women. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, man. I'm a dope. I was a dope fiend, dog. Dope fiend, a dope fiend, dog.
A what?
I'm a dome fiend.
A dome fiend. Yeah. Hit that dopamine, right? And it's just, it actually has a lot to do with depression too. I mean, people
facts.
That's what who have that type of issue. Porn is one kind of like a way of medicating it, actually.
Yeah, because if man's having a bad day,
it's like quick dopamine. You know what I mean? When you're stressed, you're probably doing it more. You know what I mean?
And I realized that's why I had to like learn to take a step back. I'm like, yo, I'm actually not like learning how to deal with my problems like at all. Like I have no skills towards like de-escalating feeling a certain way. It's like, okay, just the way I was growing, I think I'm like, I'm unfazed. It's like, no, I'm not unfazed. I just hide it in porn.
Exactly. Like,
and I'm like, yo, I need to.
It's one type of like when people
smoke cigarettes or
whatever. They smoke cigarettes or eat, like go to McDonald's, binge eat. Something like that. You know what I mean? But porn is one of those type of escapism things, like for like overcoming like.
No, I feel that for sure because I have a bad day, you have a long day, whatever. You just want to just chill out. You know what I mean? It's just like. Mans are alone. Like. What else is there to do right now? You know.
Yeah.
For me though, like for me now, I used to use porn as one of those things where you're just like, let me just just get this off quick. Yeah. I have a craving, or I'm just like, I had a long day, blah 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 blah. But now for me, it's just more about like, let me just
treat yourself.
Let me either treat. Some days I'll treat myself, but I even treat it more as like just practice. I'm just like, let me just try to last long.
Are you serious?
Right.
Let me just not bust, yo.
Yeah. Damn.
That's what I'm on these days. Like on these days, I'm just like, I'm going like 30, 40 minutes, hour.
Counting reps,
reps, bro. That's training. I'm just like, going, yo.
Do you think it translates? Like, have you noticed?
Oh yeah. I have, but
like
it's just
the
like
LeBron James.
Don't kill me.
Don't throw it in there. No.
It has translated, but I have noticed that if I don't have sex or I don't like practice for like a week, then like my first night is like pop, like you know what I mean?
Or, yeah.
It's not. I can still do my shit, but it's not. I'm not lasting as long as I usually would.
Oh yeah, I know. Like whenever I touch down, like I'm probably like 150 some days in now.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I know as soon as I touch down, it's a wrap.
Like, damn, you really on that no fap?
Yeah, man,
I am on Reddit, the no fap subreddit. You know that
man.
one?
I'm in it, man. I'm in it, man. Yeah, man. Like I see, like I read the posts just to kind of gauge like a new, it's a different angle. You know what I mean? Because like I've always been on the porn.
Right.
I've always been on that. So I'm just like, you wanna know what? Let me see if I can like live without it, and let me see what I can just kind of hit a pause on. Like even sometimes, like I started practicing like doing vegan shit. Like I've been crushing meat my whole life. I'm like, all right, like I like challenges, man. I really do like challenges. Like, all right, let me try not eating meat, or let me not eat sugar for a week, and just, like that shit is fucking hard for me. Like, oh, no bread, like no pasta, like no processed shit. Oh my god, like I'm a fucking cereal fiend. Like. No Lucky Charms, none.
The same way. Like I like to challenge myself.
I've
tried no fap. I failed several times. I've tried it multiple times.
But that's part of the process. Though. Failing is part. It's like losing weight. Like you're gonna binge. Some McDonald's.
Going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I'm going
just
for a week, then I fall off like a month.
Exactly. And that happens. You know what I mean? But that's good that you recognize that and you're doing that though. I think that's sick though.
Have you seen what's the difference been? Like how's your life kind of changed?
Just my focus. Yeah. Time. Like regularly, like I have time, like to do the things that I want to do, which is make music, man. I want to make music. I want to make art. Whereas before, it's like, I wasn't really channeling my frustration or depression into. I wasn't talking to myself about how I was feeling. It was just porn. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, I need to. I need to know what's going on inside me, man. Like, who the fuck am I, man? Like. Like why do I do the things that I do? So just being able to kind of take a step back from that and just kind of look more inside and kind of deal with that. Like that's helped me a lot. That's helped kind of make me a bit less shy. That's made me better communicating with people, from men to women. Like even particularly with women, like not feeling so like let's say if I see like, I remember like just being on like a beautiful streak and like being on that streak and just thinking about like, let's say like maybe women that so many people put on like a super high pedestal, like a Rihanna or like a Beyonce or something like that. And just thinking to myself, like man, like if I had run into them, it'd probably be like so like, oh fuck, man, like, yo,
like how can I?
What am I? You were trying to right direct that conversation towards
yeah. It's just like, yo, how do I like, yo, man, yo, this girl's so oh my god, this girl's so gorgeous, bro. Like what am I? But now it just kind of feels a lot more like. I'm who I am. You're who you are. Yo, exactly. You're pretty, but like this isn't all about sex at the end of the day. Yeah. Who are you? What's in your head? Like I can actually talk to you more on just a human to human tip. Yeah. And strangely, sometimes I feel like I notice those interactions seem to be the ones that like, let's say like turn a woman on, like rather than it just being like, oh yeah, you're just coming at me on some sexual tip.
Yeah, that's what the girls like.
I'm like, wow.
Well, I think women can pick up on the fact that even if you don't think you're doing it, I think they can pick up on.
Because at the end of the day,
you're trying to direct it.
I think they're very feely. Yeah, they know the feel. So when you think, like even some mans who pull up like, oh yo man, like, yo I worked however whatever game I had to work, and I like. Yo, I slammed the girl or whatever. And like real talk, I think like she was gonna slam you. Like she knew the flex the whole time. For sure, You think you know, you think you finessed it. You think
a lot of the time it's the girls, yo.
They're just like,
because they're just like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm horny today, or we've had this conversation. I trust him.
They decided that in the first like
from the jump.
And that's the difference between guys and girls. And again, at the end of the day, girls have the options. You know what I mean?
They got more options.
We have to go out and then try to convince.
It's true.
Show your worth.
Yeah. Convince this person to at least, at the bare minimum, let me smash.
Every girl, no matter what they look like, has like a small lineup waiting for them whenever the hell they want.
No matter what. I mean? Yeah. Any
most
girl.
Guys are going to have to.
And I think there's that pressure on guys to think that we need to think like that. But it's more just about like, why not just communicate with anybody just like they're anybody.
Yeah, just like they're anybody.
That's
see where that goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not anti, sex-based conversation. Like, yo, like those happen, you know what I mean? But just like when that's primary to every interaction, I'm like, okay, I think I need to go back to the drawing board and reconfigure. Okay, why am I looking at the whole world like this? Like, I don't want to look at this person like this, or, you know, fuck, it could be like a business meeting with somebody that you're really trying to build a solid, genuine relationship with. It's like, oh, just because I seen like a little bit of cleavage, like my little kid, my kid brain is just like, yo, dog. Like, it's like,
That's funny though. That's good. For me, just hopping back to the NoFap thing, like I've tried it myself too, and I've noticed like it's almost like that whole thing where it's like just withdrawals. Like I start looking at everything different. I'm just like, and not even necessarily in the most positive way. I'm looking at fucking like anything with a hole. I'm just like, I'm looking at this glass. I'm like, yo, fuck.
Dude, honestly, like, within about the 2 week point, shit starts getting scary.
You get scary because I'm looking at.
You're looking at like
never. You're looking at beat girls.
I remember.
Yo, I'm with you. Like soccer moms, and you're like, yo, I might like.
Like it's because I remember like in that initial withdrawal time, like. Anything, like I would see like the back of an arm.
Man.
Yo, that arm.
You see a knee, bro.
That arm,
crazy.
girl. Ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm seeing an ankle just poke out.
You know what I'm saying?
Just a little bit of an ankle. You're like, damn.
I am so appreciative.
Yo, you start liking different shit. Yo, I start like, it's
your
wild.
air is mad unique. Man. Like,
I just want to smell. Just want to smell your elbow. What the fuck? Okay. It's just crazy, yo. It gets pretty wild.
But at what point did you not feel like that anymore? And then you're like, okay, it all makes sense now. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't.
This guy's we're talking to this guy like he'd like he had like DMT and he's like some shrooms.
Yoda, please show me the way. I don't know. Maybe. What do they say? I think they say like the big thing is like, okay, do like the 90 days.
Yeah, 90 days, right?
Do 90 days.
The habit.
And I feel like maybe after like for me maybe like 40, 50. What like I feel like you started already training your brain like okay, I guess we're not doing porn. So like then what are we gonna do? Like my brain just literally
it's just based on time, just a matter of time.
It's just it just kind of dies down.
Just like okay,
if the frequencies are going sicko, it's like it's just like meditation. Just okay, the waves just. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's
like
just
okay,
like
we're not doing.
Do you even think about it though? Like ever?
Yeah, bro. Like I came up on that my whole life. You know what I mean? So it's like it's still like part. It's a part of my brain, but like it's I can say it's not the first thing, which I'm proud of.
Sure, think about it. Like it's like fucking heroin.
Yeah.
You know how the studies you do heroin, you get addicted to heroin. You're technically always kind of could relapse. Porn like that.
For sure, yeah, because it's so normal too. Crazy. It doesn't seem like it doesn't have the stigma attached to it like heroin. So
it really is.
I will say like living in like today's age with the whole like feminism and stuff like that. Like I have become more just like cool with just like seeing stuff. You know what I mean? Just on like, even online or just in person, like see-through tops on girls or whatever. I'm just like.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm a lot more. That's what I'm.
Just like, yo, we're on this free the nipple thing, so it's just like it's so normal to me. Like I'm just like it's cool.
My Instagram, like, I take pictures of naked females, and I'm desensitized to that now. Like I'm having conversations with them with no clothes on. It doesn't like
it doesn't matter.
There's no
When you start,
I think that's you know what I mean? That's progress
for sure. That's one of the things that helped me as well. Just being a photographer. It was like when I started out and I'm like shooting with girls. At first, it's kind of like nerve wracking because it's like females, and like they're not necessarily even getting naked all the time, but it's just like they're opening up their space to you. Opening up themselves,
their energy, their
to you. I get a bit of anxiety before I start a shoot.
Exactly.
Once I talk to them,
and they say that's all it is. It's about just talking.
Once they start posing, and it's just like. It's chill, like
it always just turns out to be a chill experience. You start finding a lot of just like cool chicks, like they just don't even know because just like you wouldn't approach them on a regular day because they're just they look a certain way. Yeah. But then you find out a lot of them are like, oh yeah, you're actually okay, like
you're macho. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, like
like I consider a lot of them like even my friends, like I would do almost anything for you, like
for real.
Like I would just help out. You know what I mean? You give me a call if I could help you. I'll help you. If I could set you up with an opportunity, I could, just because like we vibed. Like it was a cool day. We just did a quick shoot, you know, and the whole thing about sex was not in my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. Like I've had glimpses of that, but I don't know. Maybe start of the new year I'll get into my nofap.
Yeah,
try it. Yo. I want to maybe try it again.
I'll do a journal, a diary or something.
Yeah, man. Yo, cheers to whatever helps you. Like, you know, just connect with the best you. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe try doing without porn. Does that help? Start there.
I
might try that first.
Do like what?
Just fap without porn.
That's just weird to me though.
It's weird though.
That's
right?
like prehistoric to me. That's like
beginner.
You know what I mean? Like that's when mans are like trying to look at magazines.
Imagine,
yeah. Let me just close my eyes.
What do you see?
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. Closing your eyes and shit. But no, it's just too much for me, man. It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That was show him the wish.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let me show you this quick, though. So I was on Facebook and I have. You keep talking about this.
Yeah,
I was on Facebook.
It's a recurring thing.
Did you get anything new though? Like anything?
No, I haven't. I think it finally blocked it. So have you heard of Wish?
.com.
Wish.com.
Yeah, it's a spot you can sell shit.
Yeah. Right? Isn't it like Amazon or one of them kind of sites?
It's like a crappy like.
It's like Alibaba, but
Yeah. It's like Alibaba and Amazon combined kind of thing.
So like. Yeah. For example, I'm gonna show you an image soon, but like I don't know why. So you know how Facebook and Instagram, they're listening to us.
Oh yeah, of course.
So sometimes you'll talk about something and the shit will appear, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why any of this stuff is appearing, and I also don't know why Facebook is even like allowing these types of things to appear. So basically, Facebook, what I'm getting is stuff like this.
Dude, I die every time, bro. Yo,
I think
what is that, dude?
Swipe the other way.
Yo, like,
what is that?
Yeah, go to the next picture.
No, so
like,
people listening, it's weird boxers.
Yo, bro, you know, that is so
weird.
Yeah, and the one with a kid. Why are they putting the thing up against the kid like
bro,
that?
That's weird.
It's next to a child. I didn't see that.
Weird,
yeah, let me show you that one.
Let me see. What the? What?
Oh, that's like a nice, bro.
But you know what I mean? Like,
send that to Amazon or who's on Facebook, right? Send that to Facebook. Be like, why is this on my Facebook?
Yeah,
that's what I've been trying to figure
out.
I'm about to hit
like a bulge thing.
Bro, it's for you to put like I think like a dildo or something in there. Wait, mans can get pegged out.
Is that for the kids to piss? Like, what is that for?
Bro, I
just don't know why. I don't know why they put it near the kids.
I shouldn't even be having the image of that child on my phone.
That's holding a penis-shaped tube next to a child's. Like,
I don't know. Is it a water bottle?
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know what conversations or anything that I'm having because that stuff was popping up on my phone for like about a good 6 months. As of recent, I started taking it and I was like, wait, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, I need to block this. So it hasn't been appearing as much. But
for real. What's in your internet browser? What's your internet history looking like?
But I'm an incognito, man.
Okay, never mind then. Nah, you should be fine then.
They see it.
You know, you have the 1-2 times these guys would just play a prank and then go on Pornhub on like on the regular browser.
Alien porn. So it's not like alien shit happening.
But it's just like,
yo, what?
You know
I have no, I don't know, man. That is strange.
I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not that freaky. Like, I'm not like that at least. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But hey, if that's what's gonna pop up, that's what's gonna pop up sometimes. You know what I mean? What can you really do?
Yeah, it's the kid though.
Yeah, that's weird.
Against the child, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay. As soon as you bring a child into it, then
that's what I'm saying, yo.
Whoa. Okay, you're
if anybody has Wish, yo. If anybody has
like
Wish,
a flashlight looking thing, whatever. But if there's a child next to some sexual object,
if you have Wish popping up on your Facebook,
and when I didn't ask for it, like what the fuck?
That's what.
No one should be asking for it, but like seriously.
You're snapping. I need to stop that. Yeah. We need to stop with the child talk.
Yeah. All right. So, like, what was the other topic? Quality content. We can go into that. So, next topic is we're gonna be talking about kind of the idea of like how or what goes into creating like quality content, and that could be for like music, video, anything, right? And I think like one of the main things for quality content or how to create it is kind of like you have to relate to your audience and you have to like kind of create value behind your content, right? Don't like making selfish content is like not the way to go. I think like putting like value behind it and kind of creating like this like connection with your audience is like one of a powerful way of like.
If you don't mind me asking, like what do you mean by like selfish content?
Content you make the content for yourself.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I guess.
Like behind,
I see what you mean.
like kind of like how you make content or like your music just for you, like almost like you're just flexing, kind of like the idea behind your music.
I feel like it's I get you. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying.
This is my opinion.
I get what you mean because I get like at the same time I feel like people should be making stuff for themselves. You know what I mean? Because you don't have that extra pressure of having to think about the outside world.
No, I think that's I mean, you mean more about like you're trying to glorify yourself rather than create a conversation with somebody else. There's a difference between making music for yourself, because when you speak true to yourself, somebody else will relate to it, right? Like in my music, I try to be as honest as possible because I know that if I'm being as me as I can be, then somebody else will feel that. But if you're doing something where you're trying to portray yourself as this clout, you already have so much certain amount of clout or whatever, and you're trying to create this image of yourself. You can kind of get lost because there's a disconnect between the message and how, like, what you're trying to, and people can feel that inauthenticity. I think, in a sense.
No, they can for sure.
And that kind of correlates to a decline in quality because it feels like you're. Yeah, at the end of the day, like honesty and truth and transparency in your art is so that's one of the key points I think for quality content. Yeah,
that's the stuff you remember.
Yeah,
you know, like I feel like if you remember the other stuff, half the time it's really just because of just how like maybe clownish it was. Like no offense to like 6ix9ine, the whole situation, but just like seeing how like much of a flash in the pan that was. Yeah, and just like. It's kind of surreal that
how he had everything there.
Like holy smokes, you have the world, and now it's like,
his trials in 6 days.
He like his whole career he self-destructed his own career. Like, it kind of just fell apart.
I will say, Instagram hasn't been the same.
It's been Instagram has been mad. Like
Soulja Boy's in jail too. Is he in jail still?
He got out of jail, but he's been off of social media just because.
I think he needs.
I feel like he needs to get off the social media and shit.
Go to Bali, go meditate.
You know what I mean? Yeah, just because he was just there's snakes around him. But,
yeah.
But yeah, no. For me, even the whole process of creating the content is something that I find interesting. Like, I like to like, for example, like listen to music or watch videos and think to myself, yo. It's crazy that this person came up with this.
Right.
Like, one of my favorite things to do even is just like, and I do this once in a while, and I do this with Future a lot. I'll be like, yo, how the hell? Like, where do these sounds, you know what I mean? Where do these sounds come from in your mouth? Like,
the way you describe Future is so funny to me. Like, it's so profound.
Yo, like, Future's one of those guys that I really, like, appreciate. Because I understand that a lot of people might not understand what his whole appeal is. It's almost like a Young Thug appeal.
They don't, because the way you look at Future,
you know what I mean?
Is not the way people look at Future.
Yo, a lot of people,
Future's
a
mumble rapper.
You know, I think,
you look at him as some guy writing profound poetry.
I think but I honestly,
in their own way, like even like a Playboy Cardi, I see the genius.
I see the genius
because it's just so different.
Like, I tell these guys, and they think I'm fucking crazy. People think I'm crazy a lot because I have a lot of one-liners or good takes, hot takes. But like, I really think like Future's one of like the best writers, if you will, or like one of the best harmonizers in music right now.
Oh, yeah, people snapping right now.
That's totally fine. You guys can interact with us and engage. So feel free.
But like, I think people respect Future. I think they respect Future. I don't know if they hold your opinion, but I think they would at least hear where you're coming from, because it's different than a person like who would be somebody that they might like. Future, Thug, Cardi. I think they're in a different level of esteem, whereas there's like what would you call them, like the SoundCloud rappers who like if you were to say they're geniuses, there might be
not necessarily. I would say again, Cardi is one of the SoundCloud rappers, but he's
but I'm saying
he's also like
he's one of the originals
of that.
That's what I'm saying.
Of a particular sound, whereas everybody else coming up on the SoundCloud is like the copy paste guy.
I think Future, like Thug, Cardi, they've all established themselves. Migos, they've all established themselves at this point where, I mean, they're pop stars. They're selling things. Like you can't deny that there is some sort of level of genius or whatever you want to call it, like quality or professionality to what they do. Like attention to detail to their craft. They're definitely like someone like Cardi. You know, even if it's not like the most articulate, it doesn't matter. Like there's a different sort of intelligence to what they do. You know.
Yeah, because when I listen to their music, it's it's like one of those things where I'm like, damn, like, what was in your head? Like, yeah, it could have been drugs. Yeah, it could have been this. It could have been that. But even like if we're gonna talk about like Cardi's like his baby voice thing that he's been doing recently, it's just like, that shit is so cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
it's so different,
and it's so different. And I'm just like, and it works every time. You know what I mean? He's on fucking Solange's album doing that shit.
I love the on Tyler's project.
And that track is hard.
It slaps, man.
You know what I mean? He's on Tyler the Creator's.
He's gotten a bunch of big
Earthquake.
I think because they recognize. They're just like, yo,
they recognize the genius.
There's something special.
He wouldn't be featuring all these artists if he didn't have something going on.
Yeah. So like for like you and your music, like what is like the process? For example, for you, like, what do you kind of go through sometimes, or is it always the same type of thing? Are you working on lyrics? Are you working on just production? Like, what is it for you?
I'm in a place now where I'm learning to, I guess, put a bit more emphasis on kind of riding the vibe. Like, kind of just feeling out the vibe first, and then trying to put words to the vibe. Because initially, I've been a heavy writer, so I'm just like. No, I don't need a beat or anything. I'm just going like sicko, just writing. Because even just coming from a background of like spoken word and, I guess raps without beats and stuff like that. But just realizing that like the recording music process is a little bit different than just regular writing. Even a lot of the maybe the amount of syllables I'll have when I'm just spitting. And I'm not on a microphone, like I realize as soon as I start laying it down and recording, I'm like, whoa, this doesn't translate. I gotta go and like start re-editing this. But a lot of the times I think I'm in a place now where I'm recognizing it's feeling that I'm going for. Don't get me wrong, I definitely would love to come through and deliver some dope ass bars, but like I'm recognizing that it's not like 100% about just bars. It's like, what's the feeling around this? And even like when I look at like all my favorite songs just from growing up, and even the things that have like really resonated me over the past couple of years from artists that I truly like look up to and admire, like they're putting like crazy bars together, but they're also giving me like these really beautiful bridges, and they're giving me these really awesome, you know, sometimes like even with the Cardi, like to me like it's almost reminiscent of like scatting, or even like back in the day like reggae music with the like Barrington Levy,
yes,
you know, just like things that you wouldn't normally do in typical recordings, but just trying to loosen up and have more have more fun with the vibe.
I feel that the idea that you don't need to believe that the genius of your work is solely judged on the quality of your lyrics. Because people listening to music, they're listening to. When I listen to music, I know that the process of everything can determine. It's not just about. You could say the simplest line, but if everything around it is clearly, and it doesn't need to be carefully crafted. The fact that you got into that vibe and you rode that wave that you're on, that's part of that magic of music that adds to that genius. You know, it's because when there, it's weird, like for some, you can like tell that sometimes when people are like, you know, when you get to that point where you're like, how did they come up with it? It's just like they just rode the wave, you know?
Like, that's it. There's no,
and there's a genius to that, because and it's not something that can come naturally. It's something that it's practiced by you just entering into that
100%
zone.
And allow that to channel.
So that's trust it. It's such a weird thing. It's like it's you put time into this thing so that you can put no time into your music. You know what I mean?
So you can just be in like in a flow state. It's practice. It's like Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how much this guy probably had to be in the gym dribbling.
That's actually it's a great analogy.
In order to just like get in and just lock in and not have to think about it. Just. You see Steph. Oh my gosh! Like,
but that's practice.
Like they're practicing those in-game situations so that when it comes, it's
water.
It's right there. That's what the genius of music comes from. It's from practicing behind the scenes so that when you get to that moment, you're just riding it, and it doesn't matter how if it seems effortless, that's where the genius is, right? Because something like Cardi or Future, there seems like there's that effortlessness to it, and you're just like, but then when you take a step back, you're like, wait, no. the shit he's doing is like really weird, you know, on this song, but it seems so natural, and that's why you get into it, because immediately you like it, and then you're like, wait, like no, like this is like you can't, like, how did he just come up with this on? It's like, because this has been a process that's he's been crafting.
They all have their own process.
Yeah.
Can't just like they're all unique.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. I would say like even when like we're recording music down here, it's the best days we have are just when it's just a vibe. Like it's just a good vibe. Like we'll be drunk or whatever. Every man's just loosey goosey.
Yeah.
We're running through some beats. And we're like, oh, once we're all like, oh yeah, that's hard. All of us will just know.
Yeah.
We're like, this is gonna be sick. And then we'll start, working on our verses or something. And we're whipping up songs in like an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can knock out like 2, sometimes 3 songs in a night. Just because a quick little, a vibe.
Yeah.
And we're able to recreate that vibe every time.
Yeah.
I
mean? I find the thing with music that's the scariest for me, or not the scariest, but it's the most, I think it's the biggest challenge for me is, I think because I guess I'd say I was a writer first, then a musician too, right? Like, with writing, I can say, okay, I'm going to sit down for 8 hours and write. And I know I'm going to get something done, or you can finesse the writing, because you can just put words down and you can start editing it. But music is such a process where you have to, exactly. There's no stop and go. You have to just keep going. And with writing, you can look back. You know what I mean? Like you can edit, you can revise, but with music, it's like you have to. The best stuff, at least, it comes from just going forward.
It's
I get it.
Yeah, because sometimes you might even write some stuff that you don't even fuck with, but then somebody else hears it. Yeah. And they're like, yo, this is fucking hard.
Yeah, man. So one of my brethren, that's how one of his songs got on a TV show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's just like, this was just like a little Lucy that I wasn't even really rocking with it like that. And I feel like somebody else was like, oh my gosh, that's a song I need for the show.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
I feel like most songs happen
like that. You know what I mean?
You're not going to expect it.
Yeah.
It's not the one you put on.
It's not the one that you thought, it's not the one that you put the most work into.
Yeah. It's the little backdoor track. It's like,
when you're not even trying.
No one cares about your chord progression all the time. It's just like, that shit just kind of sounded hard. Like, that thing you kind of just whipped up in the afternoon. Just because you were bored is the nastiest thing to somebody else. You know what I mean?
That's how like a lot of like artists kind of blow up. They almost, when they say their story, they're like, oh, I was just kind of just making music in my basement, not thinking about anything. And I put it on SoundCloud and it was like got like crazy hits in one day.
Yeah.
Like, well, fuck. You were trying to be famous. You just became famous. Like.
That's not the most polished. Like even sometimes I'll listen to some of that stuff that's like super. 99.9 super virgin radio, but like and like it sounds like it's just so squeaky clean, polished. You got the best mic, the best preamp, the best engineer, the best of everything. And then I'll just hear like Blueface, and like Blueface just sounds like he recorded on his phone, and like it's some of it just sounds so meager in quality, but something about it I connect with more than the like hyper sanitized music.
Yeah, that's what I call it, sterile. Yeah, and it's that's why I don't like to use MIDI exclusively, because there's that quality where you just lose the spontaneity of it.
Of course, there's something I don't want to say lifeless or that's too robotic. In it.
It is, because it's technological, right? And when you break down music like that, it's great for obviously for editing and stuff like that, but the people who like pencil in the notes and stuff, like that's great, but I think we were talking about this right at the library, where like it's great, but then you can tell like as much, you can even shift the notes so it sounds like you're fluttering on the piano, but there's
it's not the same feeling.
And most times too, like it might not be the thing that I wanted to record, but then I added some weird thing or accidentally pressed a key, and then I'm like, oh, that's sick, and then that's what adds the flavor that you need, So music is such a process of putting things that you're like, oh shit, like, okay, I guess like so.
You just you never know.
And it's funny, I kind of feel that way ish about like, I feel like coming up with like even video ideas and stuff like that. It's a little bit different, but it's kind of the same type of deal, if you know what I mean. There's a lot more planning that has to go into certain things. But I've noticed that you don't need to plan everything when it comes to videos. For sure, again, like we're talking about how just random songs take off. For example, like I don't like Chief Keef. That video is just man's dancing around in a little house. You know what I mean?
Or even the Bobby Shmurda, right? Like, there's no way they orchestrated the hat throw, but that became the thing that blew up the whole song.
Right? I think that was just a random thing he did.
Yeah. And it's a moment.
It became an entire Exactly. There's no way you could put that down in a treatment like, okay, this is the part where, you know,
throw the hat in.
That's one of the things I've learned. Just, it's funny, like, I like, and if people have seen any of our stuff, like, we would like creating like really good looking quality stuff.
Right.
But I've always been drawn to just the loosey-goosiness of a hood video.
Like the quality's not always in the technical quality. It's sometimes like the actual substance and like what people take away from the video. You know what I mean?
And that's
like
also
how
something
they connect with it.
Yeah, and that's also something that kind of just going on that topic, like what we've been experiencing ourselves, like certain shooters and stuff like that. We just noticed that they don't have like a swag to them. You know what I mean? Like, we could be shooting music videos.
It's like an improv almost.
Exactly. Like, we could be shooting music videos, and then we look back at the footage and we're just like, you're not, like, I don't feel like you captured what we were going for, even the music. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the time, and that's something like we've kind of noticed and realized recently, it's just like, you just need to have some swag. Like, if you're
like, you need that
shooter,
free flowingness.
You're shooting music videos, you need to have some swag in your camera movement.
Yeah, you gotta have some swag in your camera movement.
We're subtweeting man so hard right now.
We are, but that's what it is. Like,
are we?
I feel like but that's the thing. It's that, like, you know what they call it? Like, it's that it factor, and I feel like that it factor translates across the board, no matter your field. You know what I mean?
No
like,
matter what.
there's just some mans that, like, if you want to go back to a ball reference, there's some mans that just, they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bron got it. And like, then you got other guys who just like, you don't have it not the way he got it. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you're ever going to have it. You can practice as I can practice. I can decide from this day on, I'm gonna practice ball like down to a T and try to be the master of whatever. I'm never gonna be LeBron James.
That's the old hard truth. Not everyone's just born to be.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know exactly.
And you can work. I think like maybe everybody has talent, and some people are able to like work and like refine their talent to a certain degree. But then there's other mans that just like, you just got like a different level of talent out the gate, and it's like no matter how much that guy works, like this guy's just at a different pedigree.
Jordan, anybody can be LeBron, Drake, whatever. Like like it just doesn't. It's just not gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things though. It's just like you start to realize the little things in like even just you. You're like, am I approaching things, you know, the best way all the time? You know what I mean? Even when I'm going through the process of coming up with ideas for a video or whatever else, whether it be a shoot or whatnot, it's like I find it sometimes it's kind of hard because it's like I feel like I'm forcing myself. You know what I mean? To think about something. And a lot of the time I've noticed, again, just the best, simplest ideas are the ones that people are going to love and stick with a lot of the time.
Every time, like, I've tried to sit down because I don't know how many times we tried to sit down and think of a Make Me Move video idea. Every time I tried to do that throughout these years, I used to sit down and be like, okay, here's, you write down brainstorms, like, okay, here are the themes I'm going to get into. It's like blah, blah, blah. And here's the narrative and the story and how it's an allusion to this and it's never a good idea because I'm forcing it too much, you know? It always just comes down to just you being like, oh, hey, that'd be a cool thing. That would look then cool. You expand on that because that you have to have that initial idea that came from something, and you're like, you can kind of almost judge it from there's that moment where you can kind of judge it objectively, where you're like, yeah, I like that idea. Let me keep going with it. You know, when you try to force it because you're trying to make yourself. You know, you're trying to make your image seem like
my image. I'm still kind of different. Like I don't want this to be like everybody else's shit. It just puts a lot of pressure on you.
Exactly.
But and then like segueing into the other stuff, it's like that's why I feel like having a good support team, friends or whoever that like gets you is like. Honestly, it's a fucking blessing. I feel like I'm so lucky to have like met Kevin and these guys when I did. Like I've known Kevin since I was a kid. And I feel like as like stupid as it sounds, it's like it was just like fate. Like
for sure.
We met and we were just on the same wavelength. Like we just understood what the fuck was going on.
Not even just met, like next door neighbors.
We're next door neighbors. You know what I mean? And then Sam Preeth, our boy, lives down the street. Up the street. It's just like a crazy thing to like happen.
Then you just happen to go to high school, meet Zach.
I just happened to meet this kid, and then he just happened to go to Centennial, meet this guy. You know what I mean? So it's just amazing. And I feel like very blessed to like be in a situation where like I just had all the like right people around me that are just trying to do shit. You know what I mean?
That's real.
Cause yeah, I noticed as I'm growing up and I'm like looking at everybody, I'm like shit, like
not everybody
has this,
that,
yo.
Yeah. Not everybody
and then like,
that,
and it affects their confidence. It affects everything about them, their work ethic, and
I feel like a lot of those. There's what's the word? Self-conscious, or you're always trying to prove yourself in a way, you know. Whereas I feel like at the end of the day, it's like I don't need to pretend to be something I'm not because I've always had that support system.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I know that obviously it seems like luck or fate, but I think people need to realize that you might not think you have that sort of support system, but there are people in your life that you don't need to prove yourself to, and you have to just treat yourself like that, like you know, because then that's when your art kind of comes through. Is when you're like, if you're trying to prove yourself, you're being dishonest in some way, essentially, you know. I feel like that's what's helped us so much is the fact that we've always felt comfortable being who we are because we've had people we've been comfortable with, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that we get to do art together too, that was just like, you know, it's just,
And we were like,
thought about that.
Just talking about life, like, it just made sense. We were both just like, yo, fuck, like, fuck all the regular.
That's what I mean. Like, all those conversations have always been,
since like grade 4, like, we've been talking about like, just like life.
School,
you know what I mean? Like, just fuck
like
that
these
shit.
guys are waste suits, you know? Like, just just that conversation just happened so early, you know? Just people just acting stupid for no reason, you know, they're just moving in a way that they don't need to move, you know.
It's one of those things that's really like just built up my confidence, and I've noticed that like I just don't care, like it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, like, I got me, my boys got me, for real, you know, whoever fucks with me got me, and if nobody fucks with me, I don't care, like, it doesn't fucking
I'm okay
matter. You know what I mean? And it just, again, growing up, you start realizing like other people are just really trying, you know what I mean? They're really trying out here.
You don't have anybody to really like help check you.
Exactly.
I mean? Like,
and they have to do it by themselves. Do it. Like, still make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know? But I feel like it's funny how I'm pulling it back to this. I feel like something like Rise is a good way for people to, you know.
There are those things out there.
You know what I mean? And like that's more the stuff I want to see happening in our city. Like,
because you don't have to flex.
Yeah, man.
Don't get me wrong, time and a place.
When you gotta do it, you gotta. When it's game time, you gotta show up. You know what I mean?
For real. Time and a place. It's like exactly to just know your time and know your place, man.
Yeah.
Recognize that you don't have to bring that energy all the time, man. You can get out there and just, you know, cycle down. Dog.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, man. Like, having a good support team, or just knowing the people that you got around you, whether they're into the same stuff as you or not. Just knowing that they got your back, that helps, man.
That's great. These kinds of people are hard to find. So
I'm not gonna lie.
Can't take it for granted.
It's not easy, man. And that's why, again, I was saying I'm blessed. Like,
it is blessed.
For real. It's been a process for me, man. I'm still like, you know, putting the little pieces together. You know what I mean?
Even we are still too, because I feel like we have each other. Like, I mean, we say you too. Like, now knowing you, it's I feel like, okay, sick. This is another person that clearly, like, we connect with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, we are not in the process of finding anybody. We're just like, we just want somebody that like sticks, another piece, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, whether it be helping out with shoots or music or
we're just trying to
whatnot,
grow our network. And,
just growing it and just finding those quality people that are just on the same page as us is so fucking hard.
We want new faces in the collective.
That's what I mean too. Is just like, I think, how much time do we have? We have 5 minutes left. So I want to bring this up a little bit, because I remember seeing the do-rag. I was talking to you. I was seeing the do-rag daddy. Remember Dad bring this up with you guys? Yeah. And I was just like, wow, this guy's from Scarborough, and it's like I felt the same energy, and it's like. It's like, fuck, I don't remember where I was going with that now. I just wanted to bring that up. I was just like, there was clearly an honesty to it, and there's clearly a don't give a fuck attitude about it.
Yo, you know? I'm like at the end of the day, like, as you were saying, like, yo, like, this is who I am, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just here to do me. I spent so many years, like, even just growing up being such a timid, you know, not necessarily knowing, is it okay to be me here? Like, you know, how do I move in this certain, like, area, and, you know, putting goddamn Toronto in my envelopes and shit. I'm like, yo, nah, man. Like, I'm from Scarborough.
That's it,
I'm from Scarborough.
Yeah.
You like it, you lump it, you leave it, whatever. But real talk, you're gonna love it. Like, that's how we're, like, that's it, man. Like, I've been wearing do-rags since before I had waves. Before waves were even a thing, I had do-rags on. So just like, I say, oh, you look like Ja Rule, da 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 da. It's like, yo, it is what it is. But now I see the whole wave going on. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna wear it now. I'm gonna wear it after, whatever. Yeah, like this is who I am. But I'm just trying to remain true to me. Even when I'm on my IG and stuff, like sometimes I feel like I'd be a little, wild in the way I'd be moving on my stories and stuff. But I'm just like, yo, this is an element of me. This is like that. Everybody has that person where they're just walking around their house just talking their shit to themselves or fucking in the shower singing mod like a mod. Everybody's a weirdo.
At the end of the day.
And people don't embrace that enough.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to just...
You're being yourself. You're being real.
That's what and those are the people I actually connect, even when I'm on, like, social media platforms and stuff like that. Like, those are the people I rock with the most. Like,
the biggest clowns to me are the cool kids. Like
the too cool to do anything
too cool
shit.
Like, I think about even the mans who were, like, too cool in high school. Like, I don't even know how it panned out for those guys. Yeah. Like, a couple of mans that I seen, I'm like, yo, tough. It's a tough.
Sucks,
the mans fell off the pedestal.
Yeah, and that sucks when high school is like, that's it for you?
Yeah, because I know.
I remember this is it.
I remember people telling me too. They're like, "Yo, this is gonna be the best time of your life." I'm like, "No, it's not. Yeah. This is gonna be the worst."
It was lit.
Like, so the Matrix.
High school was lit. I knew that was never gonna be it.
And I'm like, and I was like, I didn't want it to be my peak because why would you want your peak to be when you have 60 years, 70 years left in your life? Why would you want that to be your peak?
That's surreal, man.
Yeah,
that's a real little fast.
I'm trying to have
every
day be the peak.
Exactly.
I mean? That's for real, man.
Yeah.
Every day.
And
like the ways the years have been like just going over the past, I can speak for like since 2012. It's like,
man, just little stuff.
Oh, that's how I feel.
It's just stairs, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo,
incline.
Little
dips. Life's not perfect, but.
Yeah.
Mostly straight up. Yeah. Mostly.
Fuck, like I used to think like, yo, was grade 8 the peak? Because I loved grade 8, and then it seemed like everything went downhill from there. But now I'm finally like, okay, no, like I'm happy now.
Yeah, I think just getting in alignment with like the thing that's truly, catering to my spirit. You know, being able to make art, make music, to sit down, pop open Logic, and to like make a recording that's like, yo, like when I was a kid and I'd like listen to my favorite artists and hear the quality and the stuff of their music, I'm like, man, I was such a fan of that. And to sit down and to finally feel like I'm making some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And, you share that stuff online and you see the reception.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I feel like there's always like there's a part sometimes where you're like, when am I gonna know that this is what I want to do for sure? I ask myself, I'm like, when am I gonna know 100%? I'm like forcing myself. But then you realize at a point you're like, wait, I'm living it. I know for sure that I'm doing it because I'm still doing it.
You enjoy it.
I was doing this before I got paid to do one live show, and I would do it with money, without money, homeless, whatever. I'd be making music.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I was trying to say.
For us, we've been doing this for like 2 years, gonna be 3 years, whatever, and we made like little to no money realistically. That would put food on the table, and we haven't stopped.
All right, so basically, the message of the day is. Just do you, yo.
Yeah.
Do you make your art, whatever it is, and
find your passion.
Yeah, take that time to
stop
figure
worrying.
Out you.
Yeah, stop worrying about is this the thing I need to do, and just if it's something that clearly speaks to you, then it's probably the thing,
Yeah.
And if it's not, then you will find out at a certain point that it's not for you.
Yeah, if you hate it at some point, and it continues like that, then it's not. It's all happiness.
That's
so
it. Yeah, it doesn't need to be this like magical physical moment where you're like. I always thought it would be like, getting a blog spot. It's like, okay, this is the moment that I knew I was gonna get for sure. No, it's just
because you get it and then you're just like, oh shit, I'm the same person. You wake up the next day, you're like, oh shit, the Fader didn't do anything for me just now. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
No,
Tiff didn't do anything for me.
Bank account.
You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah, bank account's still the same. I didn't wake up with $1 million, so.
Yeah. But I still want to do this though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, since you are doing this, create the resources that you need and other people need as well. Because, again, it's one of those things that we're struggling with, and I'm noticing. And I don't want to sound like a hater, but like I don't fuck with a lot of the blogs and shit that are happening in the city. So it's just like we as a company. Lost in Nostalgia, we're trying to take the initiative in our own hands, come up with playlists and this and that.
Create this thing we've been describing this whole time. We're trying to be
exactly. That's what we have stuff like this podcast, so that we can push not just the narrative, but also push the movement.
Exactly.
To creating your own stuff, making those resources for yourself. Because if you're not doing that, then you're only doing half the game, really.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
That's waiting around. And
right
now is not the time to wait.
Yeah.
Like you gotta put the pedal down.
Our age and shit. This is
exactly.
Especially right now, we've talked so much about Scarborough building this community, and like clearly, there's people like us, everyone in this room, doing things in our own lanes to create opportunities for other people.
Absolutely.
We're not at this point. Like the thing about the Scarborough conversation too is like I realize that everything that I do now is not just for me. It's for the community, and it's for the people who come after us.
Exactly. And
trying to open up more doors, trying to help put more food on the tables for as many of my people as I can, man.
So going back to that, selfish conversation, like you don't need to think that whatever you're doing is just for yourself. It is for, in some way, it's going to help somebody else because you're going to connect with someone and they're going to be like, oh, you can do this.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just try and be as professional as you can about that thing that you think you're passionate about, because it will help somebody else and it'll help you too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, this was the Lost in Talks podcast.
Hey.
The most lit podcast.
Most lit
in Scarborough.
In Scarborough. Podcast in Scarborough.
Just Scarborough.
If man just want to lay out social medias, you want to start it?
Yeah, man. You can find me Tamir 7 a.m. 1R. 7 looks like a T, a 1 looks like an I.
Yeah. For me,
wait, can you do the overlays?
Yeah, we would add them.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, just add.
When our boys add the
overlays. Yeah. For me, it's I have 2 accounts. So I got I got Jamyle, so JMYLE.B on Instagram, and then I also have my 750 Black God account just for the music and flexing over there and other fuckery. Yeah.
Follow me at Kevin.Amar, AMAR, or 750 Ram, whichever one.
Yeah.
You can follow my Instagram account, Ian.McGilvery, for my photography work. And of course, follow our company, Lost in Nostalgia Co. For any kind of BTS content, anything. We post a bunch of stuff on our Instagram.
Yeah, we're posting a bunch of stuff. We got BTS, we got other stuff on there. Like we were talking about earlier, we got the playlist. We just updated it today.
Yeah, we did. All new tracks on that.
Everything's on there that has to do with Lost in Lin. This is the Lin list.
Got the Lin list.
This is mad simple names.
And Apple Music. We update that pretty much frequently, and we got a whole new set of music every month. Yeah. We're trying to change the whole playlist up every month.
And again, we're trying to push the movement here in the city. So feel free to send in music.
Send us your music. It's
you send us some tracks.
Please send us your music. We'll throw it on there in a heartbeat. For sure. Yeah, because it's all Toronto artists, trying to like low key artists, high key artists. Yeah, everyone. It's on there.
It's not necessarily about getting crazy plays or anything, but it's just more about you knowing that somebody out here is going to listen.
That's
to
all, man. I think it's slowly but surely learning, just building that support system, man.
Exactly.
Let's get this alien puss, come on.
Let's get this. Let's get this alien, that Neptune,
that snoo.
That Neptune neck,
This is a great episode.
That was a really great episode. Really good episode. We took this shit more serious than usual. We had our little foreign talk and whatnot.
That Neptune neck.
Serious and shit.
Yeah, man, it's really digging into shit. But at least they can see we have some depth. Yeah,
that's so funny.
That's so
appreciate
solid,
you
bro.
for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Yo, man, thanks for the invite, guys, man.
Of course,
just getting to meet you guys. Even just meeting y'all for the first time. Yeah, this is the vibe.
We're out here recording. We're doing videos. We even let you know what next time we're shooting a video, even for Kevin or something.
Yeah.
You probably help us out. And yeah, man, I think that's it for today.
Lost in Talks podcast.
Hey, Scarborough.
Hey, Scarborough things.
Repping Scarborough.
Lost in Talks podcast. The best. I mean, the best. The most lit podcast. Scarborough.
It's we need to come
over. We have mans after us. Everybody knows that's from.
Cut that out.
Yeah.
It's